if you're not live listening to us, don't bother calling.
Very true.
Yeah?
How would they call if they're not listening?
Oh, okay. Hey, listen, I never said I was smart, just beautiful. I mean,
That's
handsome.
That's why you had me.
Yeah. The good, the bad, the ugly.
Well, that encompasses both of us.
Yes. We're all good, we're all bad, and neither of us ugly.
Well, getting back to our usual tag words for the day, we are appalled at reading what's going on in Kenya. The Somali terrorists who took over that shopping mall and seem to be targeting Americans wherever they could find them. I understand a professor from Stony Brook was killed. He was shopping with his son, and he was killed. A tragedy. You never know where it's going to strike next between that and the Washington Navy Yard shootings. I mean, it seems like it's understandable why people do not watch the news, because at least the first 10 to 15 minutes of a 30-minute news show all deals in tragedy and murder.
Yeah, they weren't targeting Americans. They were just, for once, they were targeting non-Muslims. Usually when these guys do this, they'll kill anybody. They don't really care.
But I think it's a plus for them if they find any Americans.
Yeah, I don't know. I think anybody that's non-Muslim, I think, will do for them. Because to them, I guess, Muslim is the only righteous religion. Now, mind you, this is not all Muslims' thoughts, and I want to tell you the Muslims, they're just like you and I and anybody else. There's some good and there's some bad. And the bad are just very bad. And they're in the news.
And the Quran does not preach jihad against non-Muslims. They stress that you have to convert I hate to use the term infidel, but you have to convert the non-believer. They say nothing about killing them. And it seems like these terrorists just take it one step further.
Well, I don't think any religion that I know of actually condones murder and torturing of people and any kind of actual violence, and not that I know of anyway. Do you know of any?
No, certainly not. Certainly not.
I mean, religion, it's supposed to be,
peaceful coexistence.
Yeah.
Respecting people for what they are and who they are and what they believe.
Same thing that our Constitution says. And, the churches, they don't like homosexuals, the Roman Catholic Church, but they accept them to the congregation, and they'd like them to repent and give up their way of life.
But Felix, Pope Francis is almost rewriting the whole religious tenet on what should be preached now. He said that the church should get away from discussing abortion and homosexuality and discuss the inclusiveness of man, that there's a place for everybody in the church.
He's not saying anything new, because, why should the church be only discussing the bad things that are going on? There are a lot of good people, and they're not condoning homosexuals. What they're saying is, just, quiet down a little bit. We don't have to keep getting people angry. And I think that's what it does, because when you start condoning people or any religions or anything else, the actual people might get offended, but also other people from
I think you
groups-
mean condemning,
condemning. Yes. Hey, what did I say?
condoning.
Condoning.
Yeah, it didn't sound right.
No, what I'm saying, if you're a homosexual, it's okay. But if you get if people start condemning you, other people who are not homosexuals will side with you, and they will not side with the church.
Well, he believes that if you're a believer in Jesus Christ and you happen to be gay, you have a right to come to church and pray. That the church has no right to bar you from services.
Or anybody else, in which they won't. I mean, nobody checks you at the front door of a church or a synagogue to see what color you are or anything else.
In fact, I even think he's starting to soften a little bit on marriage, the marriage of the clergy,
Well,
I mean, let's face it, the early priests in the Catholic Church were all married, and the pontiff, the popes, the early popes, all had wives and families. Wives, they had a wife and a family.
yeah, so, and the other Christian religions, they allow it. And Christian is Catholic, Catholic is Christian, they should all allow it. It's...
It all came down to interpretation. I believe it was Paul who said that you can't have a family and that your church, your parishioners were your family. You couldn't have both.
Well, I don't know.
But I can't say for sure. Again, if you are listening and you have views about this, remember you can call us at 516-665-1860.
And now what you're hearing now is the Long Island Railroad, and these are not sound effects. This is the actual railroad.
That's right. That train is on its way to heaven.
That's it. And it's gone. We're in Oceanside, New York, a suburb of New York City. It's a beautiful night. It's probably in the low 60s. And we're just sitting here, smoking a little weed, relaxing, having a good time. Oh, I was told I can't say that. I don't smoke weed anyway, but I can say
Neither
anything
do
I
I,
want.
but you can't say we're doing something that we're not doing.
That's true. If anybody knows me, they'll know I'm not smoking weed.
Well, if you want to get approved by iHeart, I don't think this is the way to do it. Let's put it that way.
Well, listen, if iHeart could allow somebody like, let's see, who could possibly be on it? I don't know. Who's that fat right-wing, big mouth?
Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, yeah, Rush Limbaugh. That's the one. Did I say he was fat?
Well, unfortunately, Rush Limbaugh has quite a following. In fact, I almost hate to say this, some of your trucker buddies who are on long-distance hauls, from like 1 o'clock to about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, that's his big time to be on the radio. And that's who he's preaching to.
Well, he's preaching to God-loving, God-fearing middle-class Americans.
You can't really say blue collar because most of them are wearing T-shirts, so they don't have a collar at all.
I'm not going to say blue collar because I work with a lot of blue collar people.
No, I know, and I'm not
I don't want to insult them
by saying that they listen to Rush Limbaugh.
Exactly.
Yes.
Hey, listen, I listen to shows from the right. I listen to shows from the left. I will tell you one thing. The people on the right are quite colorful, and the people on the left are very boring. So I do tend to listen to more people who are on the right, I should say, than the left. not necessarily agreeing with them, but I think they're more fun. I think they're a lot more, how should I put it, verbal about their feelings. And, they like guns and all that good stuff. And I'm sure people listening on the show like guns, but I like guns. But I don't like guns to be used in anything but target practice. I don't believe in shooting animals. I don't believe in shooting anything that's alive. I don't think, unless we are using it as a means of feeding ourselves, I don't think we have any right to kill anything else or anybody else. Mark, you're not answering me.
No, I'm not supposed to answer you, but I agree with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was shaking my head, but they can't see I'm shaking my head.
But I heard the rocks in there.
You heard the empty sound, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my feeling about gun control. Gun control, we should be controlling guns. We should...
That's what gun control means.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
I don't know.
You have to understand, folks, we're getting close to the witching hour here.
Yeah.
Our 30 minutes is coming to a close very quickly.
But we're going to go over a little 30 minutes today. The NRA, you know what their answer was to...
It's tough enough getting 30 minutes in here today with you. What are you talking about?
The NRA, did you know what they said about this Navy Yard killings?
What?
They said there was more good guys carrying guns.
That's their standard stock answer. If there were more good guys carrying guns, they could have put this guy down, except for one thing. This guy came in with one gun, and he killed a few of the guards and took their weapons, okay? So he still managed to kill 13 people.
I'm sure if everybody had guns, there would have been a massacre. Because people tend to shoot when they hear somebody else shooting. And if they're not sure who they're shooting at, they're going to wind up shooting at everybody else.
I don't know. Most people, I think, would turn toward the direction of the noise, look, and then get down as quickly as possible. Get behind something.
But if you're somebody with a gun, and you're carrying a gun, you hear a shot, you're going to pull out your gun and shoot back. Now, maybe your guy shooting back is actually a guy that's shooting at the shooter.
Well, you see, that presents that's the problem. That happened out on Long Island to an off-duty New York City detective when he stopped a robbery in progress out in Suffolk County, and he was shot by friendly fire. He was shot by a Suffolk County policeman, I believe.
Yes.
Because he thought that he was one of the men robbing the store.
Yes. So, I don't know. Guns promote shootings and more violence when used improperly. I don't think there's any reason for anybody to carry a gun anywhere but at the firing range. And that's about it.
Felix, I said this before way back when we first started broadcasting. I said that... What did I say? Oh, yes. The Second Amendment provided for a militia. Well, we have National Guard, we have police, we have people who are designated to carry weapons. Why do we need ordinary citizens to own guns to protect their property?
I think it also said they're allowed to bear arms.
Well, that's it. It says they're right to bear arms. But, that was then. What about now?
I'm not saying you shouldn't have a gun.
Everybody in the Old West packed a gun.
Yeah, and a lot of people have guns now who are only use it in occasions such as I said, for firing in a range. Some go ahead and which I don't agree with. When they start hunting for deer and bears and different animals, but Okay, that I